Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode in our devlog series. This week has mostly been focusing on some critical systems for Windshire, one of them being the save system implemented by Carl and the other being a long time coming, the 4th AI rework. But now it's being done in behavior trees instead of finite state machines, so let's see how it goes. Anyways, let's thank our patrons before we start. Thank you to Delta, Inconspicuous, and Deathstrokes for their continued support on the project. Without you guys, we couldn't have picked up the asset necessary for AI. If you are unsure about supporting us, consider becoming a Patreon. Becoming a Patreon ensures that the project can continue without a hitch. From assets that we desperately need to tools that will help speed up creation, we graciously appreciate any Patrons. In addition, you guys receive awesome rewards such as an amazing looking role in our Discord, custom chat with devs that go into detail about the project, and a private build that only gets released to developers. Anyways, let's get back into the video. After some work on the questing system, Carl realized the need of having a save system. Using a system of binary serialization, Carl was able to create a very solid save system that could be easily added upon. Basically, it boils down to 3 systems: a list to keep track of all prefabs in the scene that we want to save, a scriptable object that holds a list of prefabs that can be instantiated and initialized with values from the save files, and the prefab to be saved themselves. Most of the work is done in 2 places, the save manager and the prefabs themselves. The save manager handles all the file I/O and handles the creation and finding of the dictionaries and files needed for saving and loading. The prefab work by implementing 2 methods, save and load, which take in subclasses of binary readers and writers. C# makes it really straightforward. Currently, one simple object like rigid bodies are set up so they can be saved. Over the next couple days, Carl's going to work on being able to save the player's inventory and basic stuff like the player's position and health, as well as handle some more edge cases so that the save system is more robust and can handle more failure cases. After tinkering with the asset we were using, I realized it had some major bugs. The blackboard on behavior bricks had a bug where saying the blackboard variables in the script did not correctly transfer over to the asset. There were long workarounds, but overall the asset was just a no-go. The only other asset available for behavior trees was called Behavior Designer, and a big thank you to the Opsive team for helping us out to make the purchase with the asset. With the support from their team, the Patreon supporters, and Captain Conrad, we were able to secure the asset for our project. This asset was everything we needed and worked like a charm. In addition to the asset, I decided to pick up the Movement Pack addition to Behavior Designer. This included some very helpful tasks pre-made for movement with NavMesh. The main reason I picked up this add-on was after fiddling around with the NavMesh movement, I could never get it right in how I wanted it to. So with the low price of $10 and some very useful and helpful tasks, it was a pretty clear decision to make. So once getting the assets in, I worked on making my own line of sight task. Though the movement pack already had one, I wanted some special features in mind, so I recreated it with some extra features and additions. After this, I got the enemy to chase the target once the target was in sight. If the target was not in sight, I set it up so the character would actively search for the target. With these 2 features in place, the enemy was working a lot better than before. The one thing I did miss from Behavior Bricks was the feature that was pretty straightforward. Though it is a bit harder to understand Behavior Designer, this was nested behavior trees. It took me a bit, but I finally managed to figure it out. With the tree working, I decided to implement basic attacking. This was pretty easy with a simple check to determine if the target is close and then a simple play animation task. Now that the tree was back to how it was with the other asset, it was time to implement the feature that showed Behavior Bricks was faulty. The dodge back ability. This is a feature that showed me that the other asset had a major bug, but with a short little condition, it worked perfectly, almost. The timing from between the target swinging and the character dodging was a bit off, and the character would only dodge once the whole swing animation was played. This was due to the timing and how fast the enemy reacted to the swing. This stumped me for a while, but after taking a break and resting for a bit, I came back with a fix for the short moment. It's a bit messier and not as clean as before, but it did help shorten the gap of time in between dodging. Though when I implement the AI into Windshire, I'll be sure to make it really clean and proficient. That was the last thing I really implemented for AI this week, though I started planning out how I want to implement combos into the tree. I need to make sure that it would work how I wanted it to and be easy to add more combos without having to add a bunch of sequence tasks, though that implementation will have to wait until the next week. Due to Perforator being busy over this week, he couldn't model too much. At the beginning of the week, I asked him if he could rig the org model that Excelsius created, and he said he could attempt to, and towards the end of the week he was actually able to send over the model all rigged and ready to be animated. So that's really exciting, so we can actually finally get orcs to be animated and be really lively in the game. In addition, he produced a very nice anvil model that will make the blacksmiths in the city look fantastic, so give him a big thank you for rigging the orc model. Without his help, I'm not sure how we would have handled that, so give him a big thank you in the comments below. So that's all we really managed to do this week. It's been pretty packed for making this save system, which is one of the most important yet most annoying systems to implement into a project, so give Carl a massive thank you for implementing that. Anyways, thanks to everyone who tuned in to the end of this video. If you're interested in supporting our project, go check out our Patreon page in the description below. We really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we will see you guys in the next week.